So when I first got into fitness, the thing that drove me the most was a fat loss goal. And I think that's how most of us start off, is we look in the mirror and we think, oh man, I need to sort this out really, really soon. So that's what drives you to get up off the sofa. That's what drives you to get out running. And that's how I started, is all I wanted to do was run. I'd run 3 times a week, or I built up to 3 times a week. And you know what? It worked to start with. I started losing fat. What I found after time, I managed to add a few squats, a few sit-ups, a few press-ups, and then it improved even more. Yeah, the body fat was slowly deteriorating. But what I found is it only took me so far. Cardio will only take you so far. Eventually, I was running, I wouldn't say I was an amazing runner back in the day, but I could probably do a 5K in under 20 minutes, which I think is pretty respectable. The issue was I'd get slimmer and slimmer, and I'd still carry a bit of podge on my belly. So then, I'd cut some calories. I'd try and run a little bit faster. I'd motivate myself that little bit harder, because the goal still wasn't met. So then I'd get a little bit slimmer again. My arms would start to deteriorate. I'd start getting little arms, little shoulders, even slighter than I was to start with. But I still found that I had that podge on my belly. So then I came across the likes of CrossFit, the WODs. Now CrossFit, as an example, it doesn't work for me just doing CrossFit. I find that I need a bit of everything. I find if I go overboard with CrossFit, it's just too much on my joints, whether that's me not stretching or what, or not stretching enough. Anyway, I digress. But what I found with these little WODs, so these finishing WODs at the end of my workouts, they'd only be, say, 10, 15 minutes long, but they worked better than any 30, 20-minute cardio interval. So the reason why it worked so well was after I'd finished that WOD, I'd write down what I'd achieved, so how heavy I'd lifted, and what repage I'd done it for. The next time, I tried to beat that ever so slightly. Now, I say ever so slightly. Some of you could probably add, say, a 5 aside. Yeah, and that'd do you just fine. Me, I like to add little biscuits. Little biscuits, yeah? Looks like Gorilla Tape. But it weighs ever so slightly more than my workout last week. I think that's the key, is you keep running and then you'll come to just a steady state. And I say running, this, rather than just pick it on running, rowing, cycling, all of the above really, anything that's just steady state cardio. But if you do the CrossFit style workouts, so the lifting weights for a cardiovascular purpose, that is something that never ends. That is progression that will continue for as long as you possibly can. And they say that the best cardio you can do is the one that you're not very good at. When I get good at these workouts, I've surpassed the workout, in which case I need to add that little biscuit. I need to challenge myself a little bit more. As I mentioned, it doesn't have to be crazy extra weight. It just has to be a little nugget that is, I mean, if you've got smaller than 0.5s, them little white ones, if you've got smaller than that, just add them. And then it's constant, slight progression, less chance of injury. So to leave you, I will give you a quick workout. Yeah. So I would say either try for 5 in 15 minutes, 5 rounds that is, or try for 10 in half an hour. So you can take breaks in between. It's probably better for the fat burning if you finish the round and then take your break. But if you want to break in between, then that's fine. Also, this won't be like running where it strips not only the fat, but it strips your shoulders, it strips your chest. My arms were getting all weedy when I was running. So this is the workout that will actually add muscle, so you're bodybuilding or strength lifting at the same time, I would say bodybuilding more specifically, at the same time as your fat burning. So I think that's the all-rounder. That's what everyone wants, is they want a bit of muscle and they want zero fat or minimal fat. So here it goes, guys. So we go, it's nice and simple. Dumbbell work, you can do this on a barbell if you want. We go 5 shoulder press, 3, 4, 5. And because it's cardio, you can go whatever pace you want. Then we go for squats for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we go bent over rows for 7. So you take them hips back, keep the back nice and straight, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, elbows out wide. 5, pick the hardest version. 6, you can even go dead rows if you want. 7. Then we take this to deadlifts for 8, 7, 6, 5, keeping that back straight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then ditch that one kettlebell and we go for snatches. We'll alternate these grip, 10 on all together. That's 2, keep it close to the body. 3, tap the floor every time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there's the full round, guys. If you can manage either 5 rounds in 15 minutes, or if you want a bit more fat loss and less muscle development, go 10 rounds in 30 minutes. And what that will offer you is a means to see progression. So if you manage all 10 rounds or all 5 rounds, then that means you're better than that weight. If you did everything with good form, you felt good doing it, you got a bit of a heart pump, but you weren't dying, yeah? The important thing about steady state cardio as far as fat loss is you can run too fast, you can row too fast, you can cycle too fast. I don't think you can lift weights too fast because the muscles will give up before that heart rate really spikes. Yeah, you want to stay in that orange zone, as they call it. So there you go. If by any chance you manage 5 or 10 rounds, depending on which version you're doing, then try a little bit heavier when you feel ready. It's a never-ending cycle, and your fitness will be never-ending if you stick to that theory. Okay, guys, good luck.